They say empathy is the light that connects us, the force that makes us human. But what if that same light is what draws the predators in? Because somewhere in the shadows, someone is watching the way you care. They notice how quickly you forgive, how deeply you feel, how you always put others before yourself. And in their mind, that's not kindness. It's opportunity. They'll study your tone, mirror your emotions, make you believe they understand your soul. But behind every gentle smile is calculation. Behind every comforting word is control. Empathy was meant to heal, but in the wrong hands, it becomes the perfect weapon. This isn't about villains in movies. It's about the ones sitting across from you, holding your hand, telling you they care, while mapping your weaknesses. So tonight, we go deeper, into the mind of the manipulator, into the dark psychology of empathy, where kindness becomes control and love becomes leverage. Welcome to the dark side of empathy. They say empathy makes us human, but what if I told you it's also what makes us weak? Because somewhere out there, someone is watching your kindness, measuring your softness, studying the exact way you care, and they're smiling because they've just found their next victim. This is the dark side of empathy, the weapon of the manipulator, the smiling mask of control. Imagine someone who always listens, who remembers every small detail about you, who seems to understand you better than anyone ever has. You open up, you trust, you begin to believe they're different, special, safe. But behind that gentle smile, there's calculation. Behind every comforting word, a test. They're learning how you feel, because the more they know what hurts you, the easier it is to own you. Empathy is supposed to heal, but in the wrong hands, it's a weapon sharper than any blade. A manipulator studies emotion the way a hunter studies prey. They mirror your energy to make you trust them. They nod when you speak. They cry when you cry. They create the illusion of deep connection. But connection is not their goal. Control is. They want to know your emotional triggers, the words that calm you, the fears that paralyze you, the memories that make you vulnerable. Because when the time comes, they'll use every single one against you. And here's the cruelest part. They'll make you believe you're the problem. The empath's curse is simple. You want to heal people, even when they're the ones hurting you. You tell yourself, they just need understanding. They've been through so much. I can fix them. But empathy without boundaries becomes a cage you build for yourself. They'll test your limits, cross your lines, break your heart, and you'll still defend them, because your compassion becomes their camouflage. But what happens when the empath awakens? When the one who always felt too much finally sees the game? They stop explaining themselves. They stop rescuing others. They stop apologizing for existing. And that's when manipulators panic. Because the moment you stop reacting emotionally, their power dissolves. They can't hook you with guilt. They can't scare you with silence. They can't pull your strings because you finally cut them. That's the power of controlled empathy. Every manipulator wears a mask. Sometimes it's the lover, who makes you feel like you're the only one. Sometimes it's the friend, who always means well. Sometimes it's the mentor, who says they only want what's best for you. But behind the mask, there's hunger. Not for love, not for connection, but for control. They study your empathy the way a thief studies a lock. And every time you open up, they hear another click. Until the day comes when you realize your kindness was never being loved. It was being used. Manipulation rarely feels like poison. It feels like comfort. It starts small, a favor here, a secret there. They make you feel needed. They make you feel special. But over time, you stop recognizing yourself. You stop questioning. You stop saying no. And by the time you do, you're already trapped. Because emotional manipulation isn't about chains. It's about invisible threads. and you handed them the strings. But every empath has a breaking point, a moment where the fog lifts. It usually happens in silence, no shouting, no chaos, just that cold, quiet realization that they never loved you. They only loved what they could get from you. That's when empathy transforms, from weakness to wisdom. You stop seeing through their words and start reading their intentions. You stop needing to be understood and start observing with distance. You still feel deeply, but you no longer bleed for everyone. That's when empathy becomes power. The awakened empath doesn't stop caring. They just learn when not to. They observe emotion, but don't drown in it. They listen, but don't absorb. They give, but never from emptiness. And most importantly, they never explain their worth again. Because once you understand how empathy is weaponized, you can turn it into armor, cold, silent, untouchable. You become the kind of person who can look into manipulation and smile back, not with fear, but with awareness. Empathy is not your weakness, it's your mirror. It shows you what you attract, what you tolerate, and what you've outgrown. But empathy without discipline is like fire without control. It burns the one who carries it. So protect your heart, but sharpen your mind. Because in this world, there are people who will see your kindness and mistake it for softness. They'll see your care and call it weakness. Let them. Because you know something they don't. Empathy doesn't make you easy to control. It makes you dangerous. So the next time someone tells you, you care too much, smile. Because they've just revealed their fear. They fear your depth. They fear your ability to see what they hide. You are not weak for feeling deeply. You are strong for surviving what others could not. But never forget, the world runs on power, and the powerful are those who master their emotions, not those who lose themselves in them. So stay kind, but stay sharp. Be gentle, but unreadable. And remember, the same empathy that once broke you can also make you invincible.